All right, what is going on, everybody? I hope you're all doing well, and thank you so much for watching. Today, we are checking out the Lawrence Petros Designs, or LPD Limited, 123 Dual Overdrive. This is a dual pedal that's based on two single pedals, one being the 68, which I believe is based on kind of a 68 super lead Marshall thing, and the 55. The 55 is based on the 50s American tweed amps that sounded so cool and very iconic amps. Not only can you combine the two, which is I think a great idea because they're both really good sounding pedals that complement each other, but he's done some cool things in how you can switch. So you know, obviously you can have one or the other on independently or both at the same time, but you can also program it to toggle between the two. So if you just want to bump back and forth between the two without turning one off and the other on, you can. If you decide, hey, I love this pedal with both sides on, I've got it dialed perfectly, I don't want to have to turn two switches on every single time I use it, you can program it to do that. No matter what switch you step on, it'll turn both sides on and off. You can look in the manual and find out how all that works, but it's easily done, and I think that's a really nice feature. Another really cool feature is how you can route the signal. So now, instead of just having it route in one direction, say the 55 into the 68, you can go the other direction by throwing a switch, 68 into 55, or if you wish, and this is something I don't see very often on dual pedals, is a parallel signal pass. So you can have the two sides running in parallel with each other. And we'll get into how all that sounds, but that's a really nice feature. Okay, so what's on top of the box? On the left side, you have the 68. You have level, drive, treble, and bass, and of course the foot switch is on the bottom that turns that on, soft touch switch. On the right side of the pedal, you have the 55, level, drive, and tone. And then you have two switches on the right side, or the 55 side. One is the voice switch. That switch in the up position gives you a little bit more mid-centric tone. In the down position, it's a little more balanced, more lows and highs. We will check that out. On the right side there is the headroom switch. In the up position, it's going to give you more headroom, exactly the way it explains. It's not going to be so squishy. It'll be a little bit more open sounding. If you prefer a little bit more squishy compressed tone, then you can throw that switch down and it'll have less headroom and have a completely different feel. We will definitely check that out in the demo, and of course the switch for that is on the right side there on the bottom. And then there's a switch in the center. That's the switch that I mentioned for your signal routing. So you can choose between right to left, put it in the center, it's left to right, throw the switch all the way to the right, you can run those in parallel. Very cool. We'll check that out in the demo. Ins and outs are on top of the pedal. You can run 9 to 18 volt DC. For demo purposes, I'm going to keep it in the 9 volt mode. I just can't talk today. 9 volt mode. Forget it. You know what I mean. 9 volts. Yeah, so here we go. Let's check out the LPD Limited 123. All right, let's check this thing out. Here's just the guitar into the amp. And here is the 123. All right, it's my usual mindless, brain frozen noodling to let you guys hear this thing. Let's start on the 68 side, and we'll check out those parameters, and then we'll check out the other side of the pedal, and then we'll get into combining the two, because there's a lot of great sounds to be had there. So let's just explore the gain range of the 68 side. So a good amount of range. I like that when you turn it all the way down, you can add some more level. That's pretty cool. It's almost like an always on. And while I've got the gain turned completely off, I'll go ahead and gun the level. So we're going to be hitting the amp quite a bit harder. It's not like a ton above Unity, and I'm not sure if there's like possibly some internal clipping even with the gain all the way off when you dime the output, but I really like having that feature. So that's what's going on with the gain and the output. We'll check out the treble range. I like it around right there. I like the clarity that this side of the pedal has when I was just kind of playing those kind of more slash voices, or whatever you call them, voices. Slash chords. I like that it stayed really clear even at like higher gain. Nice sounding circuit. Definitely has that plexi thing. We'll check out the bass. Obviously with the bass off, if the gain is dimed, that's where you want it. But here's what's going on with the bass. Here's off. I liked it about there, almost at any gain range. If I had it a little bit lower, maybe I'd get towards noon. But that's what's going on with that side of the pedal. Let's check out the 55 side, which is kind of that American tweed thing. Let's do the same thing. We'll check out the drive range. Now in this setting, which is the lower headroom setting, it's going to be more squishy and compressed, and it's going to do basically what I term an amp being massacred is what it's doing. It's like a little tweed amp just getting killed on the mics. It feels really great. Now I'll do the same thing with the headroom a little bit, or the headroom switch up, which is going to definitely give you more headroom, less squishy. It's already tighter. I really like it in that mode. Let's look at the voice switch. The voice switch is basically in the up position, more mids. In the down position, it's a little bit more of a balance thing. I personally leaned into the voice switch being up, more mids, because it sat better in a mix. But here's how it sounds in the up position. Down. Less mids, more lows and highs. Which I think sounds great, especially if you're going to run less gain for kind of a cleanish. It's bigger and more spread out. I tend, like I said, to lean toward it being in that up position so that it cuts through in the mix. But that's what's going on there. Let's hear it one more time. Cool. I'm going to leave that switch up, and let's check out. It's kind of the same thing as far as level. could almost do the same thing. You could have it be an always on kind of situation. Or have this be kind of your neck position tone. And then toggle to your higher gain tone back humbucker. So that's what that's doing. Like I said, it's not a massive amount of push to the amp, but it does work. Here's the tone control. Definitely does what I would expect like those tweed tone controls to do. You know, as you dime it, it adds kind of a barky or kind of upper mid thing. And once again, that's part of the tonality. It sounds great. I like it about right there. It just depends on what I'm doing. Now let's check out combining these. What I'm going to start with is right to left. So we'll start, let's say, we'll start with the plexi side. And now I'll add, so we're going right to left. So what's happening is the 50 is going to go in, or the 55 is going to go into the 68. Okay, so that's going right to left. What if we go left to right? I kind of like that better. Personal preference. I'm not saying it's better. Maybe add some gain from the 55 side. And that's where that voice switch is really cool. So if you were going to just toggle this on and off with both sides, which you can do, that voice switch comes in really handy. If you want it to feel a little bit more squishy, just throw that switch. A little more squishy. Okay, and last but not least, which is really cool, is the parallel mode. So they're basically running in parallel with each other. That's a cool, unique sound, and as you tweak EQs, because one's not hitting the other, it's kind of more of a separate deal. You're not so much worried about essentially a cascading effect as you change EQ. Very cool sound and a really nice feature. So that is, hopefully I haven't missed anything. I don't think I did. I usually go way too long. That is the LPD 120-3. If you've got any other questions about it, as I always say, go to the website. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you on the next one.